Hi, here I am again with a little bit of a tutorial on doing some welding and welding with your fonts. Okay, I've already set this up. I have my letter S and I've typed out the word studio. Okay, a lot of people want to make frames. They want to put words in the middle of frames or different shapes, and they just don't know how to go about doing that. And I'm going to show you a real easy way and little reminders to show you what can happen and what to do to make this perfect. Okay, I have my letter S here, and then I have my shape. They're two separate compound paths. Okay, if now we most of the time we know that it has to go down below a path to do some welding, and people have tried this and they get frustrated. I'm going to move this down a little bit more so I see that my letter S is in there. And now if I go and I select these two like this and I hit the weld button down here, look what happens. That's not what we want. So I'm going to undo this, get it back to where I had it. And so we have people that say, well, I just need to make another shape. So we're going to go over here to our offset tool, and you're heading in the right direction when you do this. And I'm going to do an internal offset. I'm going to bring this internal offset in right above my letters here so they can crop. And again, I go in here and I select them all and I think I'm ready to do my weld, and I hit the weld button down here, and what happens? It all disappears. So let's undo that and show you how you can do it and have that letter S welded inside this frame. I'm going to select this rectangular, inner rectangular, and I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to select this one. Now you want to right click and you want to select make compound path. There we go. Okay, now this letter also needs to be a compound path, so we want to hit make compound path. Now when I go and select all of these, I have two compound paths. I can weld two compound paths together. Let's see how that works. Let's hit the weld button, and there we go. I have my letter S right in the middle of my frame. Okay, now I want to go down here to this word studio I typed out since we're using studio software. I can double click on it to make it, changes over here. And I'm going to do that. First of all, I'm going to double click on it again. And I'm going to do this by doing some character spacing. A lot of people just do their welds like this and they scoot them on back and scoot them on back and kind of fiddle with them a little bit, and that may be too much. So they could say, oh, let me type in here 78, and then I just hit my enter key, and there I go. And they're going to do their weld like this, and they're just going to leave that O hanging out to the side. So let's see what that looks like. We select all of this, and we hit our weld, and there we go. I have my O off to the side. I have my I kind of scrunched up in there. I really don't like that. Some people may be satisfied with it, but it's just not what I like to do. So I'm going to go in here and undo all of this. And I'm going to keep on hitting my undo button until I get them back out where I want them. And I would prefer just to do them manually. So I need to release the compound path so I can make each individual letter its own thing. But as you notice, when I click on it, it still shows that they're together because they're still grouped. So I need to go down here and ungroup these. And now I can take each individual letter and I can just scoot it exactly where I want it. And scoot that over there. And now remember, when I scoot this, this is going to move. So for right now, I'm going to group the D and the center of the D together so I can move them together like this. And do this one. And I still don't think I'm going to like the way that goes, so I'm going to do a little editing on this one, and I'm going to just make this a little bit wider over here. Bring that in there. I'm going to take my O, the top of my I mean, and stretch that down here. And I'm going to have to group these together. So I'll group them. and then just slide these over together. Now I want to show you something. Okay, I have these over here together. I'm going to do a weld. I think I'll like this a lot better. I hit the weld button. What happens? The center of our O and the center of our D disappears. So I'm going to undo this. I'm going to take my D and ungroup it, and my O, and I'm going to ungroup that. And now I can just grab that center part of that D and move it out of the way. Grab my O, center of the O, move it out of the way. I can also do this. I want to align these up a little bit better, so I'm going to go to my alignment tool, and I'm going to go to align bottom, which would move my little piece here, but I'm just going to move that right back up. But at least I know I have them aligned now. Now I'm going to go in here, select them all again, hit that weld button again, and there we go. Now I can just drag my center of my D down here, grab the center of my O, move it back in position, and now if you go back in, select them all, and then you right click and you make this a compound path. You can do practically anything with this word. Now I go in here and fill it with a pattern, and then I can go in here and select my line color tool and make my line color tool a, say, this color here. Go back into my line settings, and I can increase the thickness on that, and I can select print that, so when it prints out, this is the kind of the image I will get. Well, I hope this has helped you learn a little bit more about welding and some of the different things you can do, and a little bit more about compound paths. We'll be on to our next learning tutorial really soon. Stay tuned. Bye.